Hello, everyone.
Good morning, everyone. Hello, Berlin.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It's really nice to see all of you in the room. My name is Shefali. I'm the YouTube action lead for Germany at Google. This is my colleague and friend, Andri.
And I'm the head of online marketing at Marley Spoon.
So we're here to tell you a very interesting story of what all magic Marley Spoon did with YouTube. And Andri and I have been working on this together for a while. So we're buddies here, and I hope you enjoy our story today. All right, let's go. So I'm going to start by giving you some basic concepts of using YouTube as an advertiser to generate business results for your website. For example, to generate sales on your website, to generate people to sign up, so on. So how I'm going to do that is by running you through an imaginary story of an imaginary company, but all the lessons in there are absolutely real. These are all things that I've learned from personally working as a YouTube person, working with several e-commerce players, and that is coming through today in the story of our wonderful fictional company that sells black dresses, and it's a startup based here in Berlin. So let's go through their story. So this startup company first started selling through Google search ads and saw great results. But it wanted to do more, and it wanted to also give out its message. Why is the brand relevant? What is the story that they're trying to tell? So they thought they need to do video ads. And with the 95% viewability and a very high audibility for YouTube, it was a natural platform for them. So they started doing video ads. But video ads, again, is a very big term that has so much within it. So what to choose from within that? They thought, let's not force our users to hear our story. Let's give them the option to skip. So they started using TrueView ads. And within the TrueView family, there are a bunch of options which seemed very exciting for them. So they started using this particular format, which we're going to focus on today, and that is called TrueView for Action. And this might seem a little familiar from your own personal YouTube experience, where there is a blue call to action button which says, buy now, more info, so on and so forth. And this format is particularly designed to drive action, to help users take action based on the video, not just get a message. So it's not just meant for branding metrics, it's also meant for conversions. All right. The top 3 tips I can offer you today for making a video that works spectacularly on YouTube to drive conversions is 1, make it brief and engaging. 2, make it for mobile. So if you're making an ad, please test it out on mobile with a low battery, with a very low brightness. How does that look? And if that looks good, your creative is a success. And the final, have a clear call to action. So specify clearly something such as buy now, read more, so on. Right. So with the black dress company, here's how they thought about their targeting. They were making clothes for women between the ages of 18 to 34. So they thought that that's naturally what their targeting should be. That's the big circle, women 18 to 34. Within that, they wanted to show ads to people who were interested in apparel. And even within that, they wanted to show ads to people who are particularly interested in black dresses because that's what they sell. Later on, this company realized that such a targeting, though traditional, might work for other mediums, but for the online video medium, it's not the best strategy, and let's see why. So they started using a particular form of targeting called the custom intent audiences, which lets you show ads on YouTube based on what people are searching on Google search. So I'll say that again, just to make sure everybody got it. It lets an advertiser show ads on YouTube based on what people are searching on Google search in the past 7 days. So that's really interesting as a business owner, because imagine how exciting it must be for that small company to be able to show ads to people who are searching for particularly black dresses and so on. So here are some tips from using custom intent audiences. Number 1, please do not do a demographic layering. It's like putting a bouncer in front of your showroom. For example, saying, so-and-so people are not allowed to enter. Let everybody enter the store, and then we'll see who makes the purchase. The second, you can use your search terms if you're using Google search already as a starting point and then add more on top. And the final, make sure that you have a big list of terms for custom intent audiences, so minimum 300 terms. All right? But custom intent audiences alone is not enough. The company learned that they need to use broader forms of targeting to make sure that they have enough reach and enough people are seeing their ads. So here are some suggestions. Please feel free to take a picture of this. And I will speak about a couple of very interesting options from here. So first being light TV viewers. This is a form of targeting that covers people who are not heavy TV watchers. So they watch video a lot, but mostly online. And these are the people covered under light TV viewers. So if you are an advertiser using television ads, please consider using light TV viewers on top. The next that they used was in-market audiences, which is a type of targeting which is very bottom of the funnel. These are people who are ready to make a purchase. They're not just doing general research, but they're out there making a purchase in your particular category. Also live events. So let's imagine this company is selling black dresses for a graduation event, and it's able to find women who are approaching a graduation soon, and that's very valuable information. So events such as marriage, buying an apartment, starting up a business, these can be targeted using live events targeting. Also customer match, and customer match lets you use your own first-party data, so data from your CRM can be plugged into this and can help you find these people on YouTube. So for example, for the black dress company, if it's launching a new range of shoes, it would like to show its ads to people who have bought dresses from them from all other channels. Right. The main power of using a video ad format that works on automated bidding, such as TrueView for Action, that's the format that I've been talking about, is that it uses the machine learning technology that Google has, and it takes a lot of signals, so about 70 million signals, in fact, to make a real-time optimization at the time of the auction. So compared to how well any human being can possibly optimize for a campaign, auto bidding can beat that hands down, and it's much simpler. It frees up time for you to do more strategic things. So this is a summary of what we spoke about. Use auto bidding in the form of target CPA bidding, where you specify a certain cost per acquisition. So to make it real, let's say the black dress company wants to spend X euros to be able to sell every garment. That's target CPA bidding. And the other bidding option is maximize conversions, where you don't know what target CPA to expect, but you're telling the system to be as efficient as possible and drive as much sale as possible within the daily budget. Combine that with TrueView for Action and let machine learning do its job after that. All right. But a couple of lessons here is that your daily budget should be a minimum of 20 times your target CPA, just to make sure that the campaign gets enough traffic and gets enough signal to learn from how people are interacting with your ads and your website. Every form of automatic bidding needs a learning time where it's learning this, and for that duration, which is 14 days in this case, the campaign should not be disturbed. So please resist the temptation to make changes during the first 14 days. Final, that there is a threshold of minimum 50 conversions a week, which should be met in order for auto bidding to work here. So let's make it more real by talking about the black dress company. And for them, it would be a very, very big deal to be able to sell 50 dresses a week. So what do you do in that case? In that case, you don't just tag the final sale conversion as the conversion, you also tag a couple of steps before that. And as your campaign learns and becomes more mature and stable, you can keep removing a few steps every, let's say, fortnight. And that's how the black dress company was a phenomenal success. So apart from the dress that I have on today, we sold several dresses to a few very popular people, including Susan, who is the CEO of YouTube, Michelle Obama, Audrey Hepburn. Now we're just playing, so I might as well put Audrey up there. And Kate Middleton. I will now hand over to Andri to tell you the rest of the story.
This, I think I'm fine. But actually, Shefali, you wanted to talk about our awesome case study we did.
I can do that. Okay. I'll leave the clicker with you.
Just real quick.
All right. So very quickly, a final note on, so how do you measure the impact of a particular campaign? How do you measure what happened only because of that particular campaign and not because of any other marketing effort or just organically? You can set up a conversion lift experiment on YouTube for that, and it has to be done by the Google team before the campaign starts gaining traffic. So let your Google team know much before. And what it does is that within the targeting that you have set up, it creates two groups. One is the test group, which sees your ads, and the other is the control group, which does not see your ad. So they are all within your targeting, but some part of that targeting is seeing your ads and some part is not. And then it compares performance between these two parts. So this is not a surveys-based methodology like brand lift surveys. This is an actual comparison of what happens to people who've seen ads versus who've not. And what we saw was that in Marley Spoon's case, they had a phenomenal 52% incremental uplift on their final conversions. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Andri.
Thank you, Shefali, for the wonderful introduction on pretty much what we try to do when we first talk to Google. So I'm from Marley Spoon. We sell meal kits. That's like you get a box with food and recipes in it, and then you can cook at home. And if you happen to live in Germany, Austria, Belgium, Netherlands, or in Australia or in the US, you're very well invited to try our service. So basically, we were back in 2017. It was like, what's the deal with YouTube nowadays? I've tried YouTube a couple of years ago. It never really worked. It was like Google were telling us, try, it's going to be great performance. And sorry, it did not in the past. So we wanted to give it another try. And what's the first step when you want to try something? You talk to Google and ask them, guys, what can we do? Next slide. So when you talk to Google, I don't know if you guys have Google reps, but if you have so, ask them. They'll give you a great deck and tell you, you should definitely try YouTube. It's going to be awesome. It will be incremental reach to your TV campaigns, and the performance will be amazing. We're like, okay, let's try it out this time. Maybe it works. So that was back in 2017, and we were like super excited, and we wanted to like get going and starting right away, but in the whole 2017, nothing happened because of we needed budgets for production. We needed to talk to our CMO. We needed to make sure that we can allocate enough budget to actually do a proper test, because without learning, it wouldn't really make sense. So it took us much longer to actually start advertising on YouTube than we thought, not because it's difficult, but like the whole setup, it needs a little work. So we figured out, like with production companies, it's kind of expensive, so we'd rather like hired an in-house video editor or video producer. And that was basically in February 2018, and then everything went super fast. We talked to the Google guys, set up new accounts, because best practice is to have clean new Google Ads accounts for YouTube. We started like having some advertising material to learn how the tool works, how the machine learning works. And then we started like 3 lift studies, which Shefali talked to you guys about. So that was the basic setup, and let's see how we did that. So to be successful, I like that. But it's not actually on purpose, sorry guys. So let me go back. To make successful YouTube ads, you should think of like bidding and targeting, and of course creatives. We put down there, it's like 70% creatives, like coming up with a good story, coming up with good videos, and 30% is what Shefali mainly talked about, is about how to bid, how to target, how to make sure the algorithm works properly. So let's start with the 70%, the creatives. So we came up, to start with a test, we came up with 4 different concepts. So it's like, one, we want to show the product, what the product is about, and how it helps the people. And the second one is like more a testimonial style, is like how we make the lives of many people better, mainly families that don't have to go to the supermarket after work and before cooking at home. And then the third concept was like, we'll just take our TV spot that we have and we'll adapt it to YouTube. And the last one was like, video editor, go crazy, try to do viral stuff. So this is what we tried to figure out, how it works. So let's look into 2 videos that we used for the study. If you could please play the video, that would be great. Thank you. So this was the product video. It's really about what is the product, how do you use it, and what will you get as a result. If you have the call to action, the format that we used, we have a voucher, and you will like save $30, $35 off in Australia for your first box. So that was the one. Let's look at the second video. It's the testimonial-like one.
Wow! When we'd come home from work, we'd be so tired that we just didn't have the creativity to try and come up with stuff.
With Marley Spoon, it takes away that stress. You know, we come home and then we just pick out of 3 or 4 meals what we want to make.
Yeah.
And all the ingredients are there, and it's like fresh food, and
Yeah.
we know that the kids are getting the right kind of balanced meals as well.
Yeah. So we normally order around 4 or 5 meals
Yeah.
a week, and for us, it's guaranteed that 4 or 5 nights out of the week that we're eating at home together, and that we're not spending money to go out. So that's been great, and I think that the component of us actually being able to cook the food has been really great as well, because
Yeah, definitely.
for me, not knowing how to cook at all, to now being able to kind of cook with a recipe is actually really, it's actually good. Yeah, I can say that I can cook now.
So this was the testimonial style video, very focused on people, trying to bring in emotions, trying to really show how the product helps families to like have a better family life. More of a branding approach than like buy the product directly. So if we go to the next slide, so what do you guys think, which one was the winner? Was it A, the product video, or B, the testimonial video? So A, could you please raise your hands who think the winner is A? There's a few. Winner being B. Who hates handing up holes in conferences? Just one. Okay. So actually both were winners. The first one, when it comes to pure sales and like cost per acquisition or cost per new customer, was lower. When we looked at the case study as well, or at the study that Google helped us doing, was with ad recall and brand awareness, the second one was much better. So it's kind of what you want to achieve with your campaigns, what kind of creatives you need to go with. We decided to keep on running both campaigns because we have like the brand and brand awareness in the upper funnel, and then in the lower funnel we have like people trying to push them over the finishing line to buy our product. So we said 70% creatives, it was the creative part. So what about bidding and targeting? What Shefali talked about, how can you guys do that? How did we do it? So Shefali talked about the Power Duo, TCPA, bidding and TrueView for action. We figured out that we'd rather have a Power Trio, and that is we bring in micro conversions into, feed the algorithm with micro conversions. Why is that? Next slide. There we go. Shefali talked about the 70 million signals that Google uses to like optimize campaigns and everything. And that is true, they do, but the algorithm needs to get more and more signals to actually be able to work well. So what we did is we basically put on every step of the conversion funnel. I hope you guys are familiar with the conversion funnel. If not, we're here around later and happy to answer any questions. So we tag all our sites and like go through the funnel with tags, and like as soon as we have enough conversions, it's not 50, we were like rather around 200-300 a month to feed the algorithm, we would turn off steps in the funnel. So when somebody comes into the checkout mode, like we first will track the checkout, if they then go to the payment page, we would, and we have enough conversions on the payment page, we would turn off the checkout. That's basically the basic concept. So this is real data from Google Ads. How did that look? So basically we had like a lot of conversions in the beginning. We would turn off like the easiest conversions, and then cost per conversion would go up, of course. But the algorithm would optimize towards a goal that's closer to the actual sale that we wanted. And that's how we would optimize all our campaigns until we actually, actually came to that result that we had a 52% uplift in a relative uplift of the people who have seen our ads to the people who haven't seen our ads in actual sales. But then again, we wouldn't be performance marketers if we wouldn't want to beat that, so we tried a new test. We narrowed down the targeting a little, would optimize a lot on the creatives, and we actually made it on a lower volume to have an uplift of 126%, and that was in our second test with Google. That's about it, how we did it and how we made YouTube work for us. It was kind of a long journey, but I think it's worth trying if you haven't tried YouTube in the last 2 years, let's say, because YouTube has worked a lot, and like we were very unhappy with YouTube in terms of performance in the past. Now they introduced, when did you guys introduce the TrueView for action format?
So we've been testing it for a while, and just a couple of months ago, it's a publicly available beta, so you don't need to whitelist. You can directly start using it.
So basically, they worked a lot on their product for performance marketeers to actually use YouTube, so it might be worth a try figuring out if it works for your businesses. Thank you.
I can sum up as a final takeaway for you all that if you're trying to drive e-commerce or any other kind of conversions using video ads, using YouTube, here are your top 4 things to remember. The first, make sure that you're reaching the right people and make sure that you benefit from the intent signals that Google can offer. Number 2, use a format which is suited to what you're trying to do. So use a format in this case which is meant for driving action, and TrueView for Action is one of those. Number 3, make sure to benefit from auto bidding. So let the system auto-optimize for your results. And the final, that if you need to prove incremental results, then like Marley Spoon did, we have solutions for you. So thank you so much for hanging with us today, and thanks for being a wonderful audience.
Thank you very much. Do we have a question from the audience?
Hi, my name is Patrick from View Storefront team. You were talking about the fact that we have to optimize our videos for the mobile, right? And I'm wondering, how does it go further? Because if we're gonna convert the user to go to our website, but the website is not optimized for mobile, how does it work? And the second question is how your conversion was different on desktop compared to the mobile.
You want to take the first part?
I can take the first part.
Okay.
It's really important to have a website that works fine on mobile. I cannot emphasize that enough. Even if you see that your final sale metrics are better on desktop, people are reaching desktop. That's not their first step. There are several other interactions which are taking people there. So although your numbers might give all the credit to desktop because of last click attribution, there are several heroes behind the scene there, and you need to make sure that they have a very, very positive experience on your mobile side. That's why it's also important, like you said, to check your video how it looks on the mobile first. There's a very big auto brand that invested a lot of money in making a video, which was spectacular on a big screen like this, but it was really useless on a mobile phone, and it's not a surprise that it didn't do well, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess if you don't have a mobile website functioning well, it's going to be hard because I don't have the exact numbers, but I think like 70–80% of the traffic we got was actually mobile. I mean, there is cross conversions. Google is not that bad at like attributing conversion from mobile and desktop, but without any mobile website, it's going to be tough, I'd say.
Okay, next question. Okay, do you plan to replicate the campaign on some other channels as well?
Yes, I mean, the second video, the testimonial video, like to come back to what our colleague in the presentation before this one said, was actually from influencer. We're like, this family, they loved our product, they did a lot of videos and we worked with them and they sent us over the videos and we made ads out of their footage actually. And that worked out super well. And how we work with influencers right now is like any influencer working with us has to give us their footage so we can create ads out of the footage. So it's kind of a symbiosis between influencer marketing, YouTube marketing, and all the other channels as well. Plus, it reduces our production costs a lot. So.
Okay, thank you.